This is game number 9 of a match between Xiexiemaster and CCH. The character used for this game is Mr. USA, that resembles Bush Sr. Bush Sr. was a former director of the CIA that became president. Bush Jr. is the president of the Twin Towers falling down. With that said, it's interesting because obviously, again, this software was written in the end of the 80s or beginning of the 90s, so it's interesting the characters they have, the choice of characters. For example, for Miss England, they have used the face of Margaret Thatcher, the famous Iron Lady. And it's interesting how, strangely, this game, in which the central canon doesn't really go very, very well. Also, if Xiexiemaster will win, Xiexiemaster is red against this Mr. USA, but it will win in more than 60 moves. So it seems that it's kind of difficult to win with the central canon, especially playing against computer. Maybe it's easier against human. Here we can see also typical defensive maneuver like this, bringing the cannon back to attack the rook. In chess, there is the belief that watching enough master games will make a person better understanding the game, because some maneuvers, some tactical maneuvers are common and they are patterns that are repeated in many games. So it's possible that also this happens in games between engines, especially if the gap between the strength of the two engines is big enough. Because if it's not big enough, they will probably be able to show that they are defending each other threats, and the human might miss what are the tactical threats. Instead, if there is a big gap between the two engines, it's possible that it shows us some typical tactical shots and patterns that can be used in our own games. Notice that red already has a good material advantage for what regards pawns and destroying the enemy defenses. I think at this point red has already won. Yes. And now the game is over practically, because once this pawn in d7, let's say, goes to the end, it gives checkmate. So there is no way to avoid. And there is no way to really take that pawn, because if you take it, you get checkmated. Here the pawn that become fourth. Now, black can only continue to give check, but it's useless, because there is no way to stop the pawn from giving checkmate. Watch here. This is also another typical checkmate pattern that we should learn, and we can learn thanks to the engines. So let's repeat: Xiexiemaster was red, Mr. USA, CCH was black, Xiexiemaster won. This was game number 9.